All right, check it out. A couple years ago, we did a video on pipe fitting 101. This thing was like off the charts. It's got a lot of views, helped out a lot of people. My email inbox, the DMs, dude, we just been flooded with people talking about that video, how it's helped. So today, we're gonna do a little refresher. It's gonna help you out in the field. We're all about the welders, but hey, welders gotta fit the pipe and nothing gets done without a little pipe fitting. So stay to the end. I got a little surprise for you. This is an update on pipe fitting 101. All right, so a couple things with pipe fitting. You have what's called job north. So every print is gonna have a line north, and where this comes really into play is for isometric drawings. But basically, it's a 3D drawing. And so the first thing you start out with is what's called a compass. And your compass always starts out like this, and one of these is gonna be north. So if this is north, remember the old acronym, never eat soggy worms? So north, east, south, west, never eat soggy worms. If job north is over here, then everything just rotates. This line up and down, what does that mean? That's up and down. So on your prints, you're gonna see an arrow. A lot of times just the engineers will give you an arrow that looks like this, and they'll put an N there. That stands for job north. It can be any which way. Simply put, that is just a view of how the piping lays out on job north. So pull your phone out, look at your compass if you're in doubt of how that view of that print is looking. So job north, what's left is the rest of the compass. Does that make sense? So when we do any of our pipe fitting, we always draw everything in isometrics because it's a 3D image of what it should look like in the field. The other thing with pipe fitting is a lot of times the engineers will just give you a fab drawing, or sometimes you have to draw your own drawing, but it's gonna be a one-line drawing. So if I've got a piece of pipe that runs north, and then it drops down, and then it goes west, right? What does this look like? It just looks like a line on the paper, but this is a line that's running north and south, up and down, and east and west. And let's say we had a flange on there, and there was a 90 right here. The other thing that to symbolize welds, a lot of times we just do dots. So if our dots are like this symbolizes the welds. If I was to draw this in what you guys probably understand a little bit more, it would look like. So this is a flange, that's a 90, that's your pipe, but for simplicity, we just do one-line drawings. That's an isometric drawing. Does that make sense to you? If not, let me know in the comments what we could do better, but simply put, a fab drawing is just gonna be a one-line drawing. Dots usually for where the welds are. This is gonna cover you for butt welds, for threaded pipe, for socket welds, all, you know, this could be solder, it could be copper, it could be brazed, any kind of connection. We just symbolize that with a dot. All right, so let's go over dimension lines. So we use our dimension lines. Now this symbolizes the dimensions. So sometimes on a job you have prints that you can work off of. Sometimes you don't have any prints and you gotta draw your own prints. So here at Western Welding Academy, we give every graduate a booklet of isometric paper, but as long as you understand the isometric compass, you don't need isometric paper. You can just do it on regular old paper and it'll work just fine for you. Okay, let's get into some dimensions, how to calculate them. The goal here is to find this pup length. We know we got a 90, a back-to-back 90, looking north-south, and I've put the dimension lines on here. And if you go to your blue book, you will figure out what the takeoff for these 90s are. The first thing I start with is my dimension line. So let's say this is 10 foot, 6¼ inches, and we need to find this pup length. So, you know, turn to your blue book. What is this pipe? What size is it? That we gotta discover and figure out. So let's say this is 6-inch pipe, and it's butt weld. That's pretty common. So on a 90, on a standard radius 90, there's 3 kinds of 90s out there. There's a long radius, a standard radius, and a short radius 90. Most common is a standard radius 90. So what you call an LR 90 is a long radius, STD is 90, and an SR is short radius 90. So the takeoffs for each one of these 90s is gonna be a little bit different. Standard radius is always 1½ diameter of the pipe. So 6-inch pipe, 1½ times 6 inches is gonna be 9 inches. A long radius is 3 times the pipe diameter. So 6 times 3, 18 inches. And then a short radius 90, the takeoff for that is gonna be the pipe size. Super simple way to put it. Like I said, standard radius is the most common. Long radius 90s, this is something that's generally used in the pipeline industry where they need longer sweeps because they have to pig the lines and they need a lot more radius to send that pig down the line. Short radius 90s are not very common because the radius is so tight that whatever fluid goes in that pipe, it causes a lot of turbulence. It takes more pumping pressure. It just takes more energy to pump that. So unless it specifies on the print that it's something else, it's pretty safe. You can assume that it's a standard radius 90. So we start out with our center to center. What this center to center means is if this is the pipe and this is your 90, the welds are here. What that means is it's this center line. So when you're looking down the pipe, it's this center line right here. It's the dead center of the pipe. So if you're measuring horizontal or vertically, you're always gonna measure to this center. And when you draw your isometric drawings, you're always gonna go back to the very center of the pipe. And so for here, when we put our dimension lines, that's what we mean. It's just one line drawing, but what it's actually telling us is that it's the center of the pipe. That's how pipe fitting 101, that's how you measure things. And the more you do it, you'll see that it just makes a lot of sense to do that because it's a consistent known point that you can always measure from. So we have to figure out what this distance here from the center to the weld is. What is this distance? That's what the takeoff is. And so if we can go center to center, we have to do a takeoff for the 90, and that's what I'm talking about, 9 inches for a standard radius 90, because we're trying to solve for the pup length. So we take 10'6" and 1/4 inches, and I always, every time I do my piping calculations, I always label everything, because let's say you get this whole piece built and you go to fly it up there and rig it up. If it's off, you want to always be able to go back to your math and figure out, you know, it's one thing to make a mistake, but it's a total another thing to make a mistake and not know where you made that mistake, because mistakes are just simply opportunities to improve yourself, improve your skill set, and learn. And so that's one reason why I always make sure that I'm labeling. Every time I do my math, always label. So I call this CC. This stands for center to center. The next thing I do, it's very easy to go, okay, I got to take off 2 90s, and so 9 times 2 is 18 inches. It's very easy just to put 18 inches here, but one of the things that I learned early on was you want to put it twice. So, you know, because you can do this piping math and you can fab all this pipe and keep record of it in your book, in your pipe fitter book, in your isometric. I always used to keep them in a little metal clipboard. And so I would put the date and the time and really good documentation and put them in order, right? You want to be very organized and very detailed if you're going to be a pipe fitter, because you might build this piece and then 4 months later, they go to fly that piece up and they realize it doesn't work. It doesn't fit. Something's wrong. And they're immediately going to point to you as the pipe fitter. Like, you did something wrong, you made the mistake, and you want to be able to prove that you didn't, or maybe this changed, or whatever that was tying into. You just want to have really good documentation. And if you did make a mistake, that's okay, but let's not make a mistake and not learn from it. You know, I'll make the same mistake, but I'm not going to make the same one twice. So that comes really in effect when you're doing your math. And I like to do it longhand. I see a lot of pipe fitters, they do it in their head, or they just whip it out on a calculator and they don't document it. And these guys are just guys that are eventually going to end up looking stupid. So I take out 9 inches and I label it 90, and I put it twice. So then you take out your calculator, and one of the calculators that I always prefer is one right on my phone. It's called Construction Master Pro. This will allow you to do fractions, feet, inches, everything right on the calculator. You should know how to do this longhand with a pen and paper, but always double check your work with a calculator. You don't want to forget to carry a wand and fab a piece of pipe and end up costing a bunch of money because you fabbed it wrong and you got to go back and do a bunch of rework. Nobody likes rework. So I'm going to take 10 feet, 6 inches, 1/4, minus 9 inches for the first 90, minus 9 inches for the second 90, and that's going to give me 9 foot 0 and 1/4 inches. Now I'm going to label this always. This is my pup. The other thing that I do is I go back to this drawing and I take this pup and I write it right here. 9 foot 0, 1/4 inches. I label it pup. And I learned this from my uncle. My uncle was a really gifted pipe fitter. He would always circle this on his drawing. And what happened because of that, and I asked him why he did that one day. I said, why do you always circle the pup length? And he said, because it draws your attention to it. Sometimes you might be fitting pipe for a welder that does not know how to fit pipe. He knows how to cut, he knows how to, plumb level square, he knows how to build things, but he doesn't know how to draw drawings. And so by circling the pup length, because this is the important information that you're trying to convey to that welder, and I have seen it where I forgot to circle it and they cut the pup length from the center to center dimension. So they cut a 10-foot 6 1/4 pup. Well, when time you add on your 290s, that piece of pipe is simply not going to fit where it's supposed to fit. So always circle your pup lengths, much less likely to make mistakes. All right, so I told you guys that I would give you a secret at the very end of this video. This is a life hack, and I'm going to tell you here and now, this is the way you do things. If you notice my math, when I calculated for this pup length, I did not take out any weld gaps. There's a bunch of really ignorant pipe fitters out there that think that they have to add in 1/8 of an inch for weld gaps. That simply is not true. Let's look at the weld profile. When we make a weld, for all you that don't know what a weld gap is, when you take 2 pieces of pipe and you weld them together, you always have to have a gap in there. Not that big a gap, but you get the idea. So we always have to have a gap in there to make the weld in order to make that weld X-ray quality. So this is what it'll look like. You have a little land, and generally speaking, we go anywhere from 3/32 to 1/8 inch gap right here. And when you're doing your piping calculations, pipe fitters always like to put in weld gap. But what happens when this weld gets welded all the way out, every time they weld on that and they put another pass, that thing is going to shrink and it's going to keep stepping in every pass, because when you weld on something, as it cools, it always shrinks. So by the time you're done, there's not going to be a gap there. This is going to be all the way smashed up tight. And so if you've figured a weld gap in there, by the time you get all the way done, and like I said, 2 welds, it's not probably going to make that much of a difference. But if you have a header where you've got 20 welds and you've got T's coming off this thing, by the time you get to the very end, you've taken out 1/8 of an inch every time, you're going to be a couple inches short. It's going to screw you. It's not going to work. So weld gaps, biggest myth of pipe fitting. Don't take out for weld gaps. I've never taken out for weld gaps, and my stuff is always spot on within a 16th. And that, at the end of the day, is going to be good enough for carbon steel pipe. With that, if you guys got any questions, concerns, you want to see another video, drop it in the comments. And if you want to see an isometric video, drop me a comment on that too. Hope you guys are crushing it and killing it and making tons of money. Tyler Sasse, Western Welding Academy, out.